And we're turning our attentions to boxing right now because the 5 weight classes for the Matthum versus Queensbury boxing supercard this summer have been revealed. The heads of Britain's biggest boxing promotions, Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren, have agreed to each put 5 fighters up to go head-to-head. Now, the event is scheduled to be held in Saudi Arabia on the 1st of June. So to clarify it all for us, joining us, it is the head of Queensbury Promotions, Frank Warren. How you doing, Frank?
Good morning, Frank.
Good morning, Gabby. Good morning, Natalie. How are you?
Yes, we're very, very well. I'm very intrigued by this 5 versus 5 event. Just in case people aren't quite aware, would you mind just shedding a bit more light on it?
Right. So what is going to happen on the 1st of June in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, is Matthum, our opposition, I suppose, in world boxing, and Queensbury will each have 5 fighters that will fight each other. And the winner will have the bragging rights.
Nice.
And what will happen is that that we picked the weights already. Eddie Hearn and myself picked 2 weights each, and Turki Al Sheikh, who's the chairman of the Riyadh season and seller, he picked a weight as well, which was heavyweight, and I also picked heavyweight. So we got 2 heavyweight fights, 1 light heavyweight, 1 middleweight, and 1 featherweight fight. And it's going to be very, very competitive. And we're going to announce the fighters on the 15th of April here in London, who we've picked. And then it's going to be, gloves on rather than gloves off.
Frank, what's it like, though, with your fighters? Because if I was one of your fighters, I'll be on you. Like, yes. Frank, please, it's my time. Please pick me. What's it like as you're foaming non-stop of your fighters saying, come on, please?
Well, that's exactly what we have had. What's helped me a bit is the fact that it's determined by weight. So a few of the guys haven't called, but, you know, we're quite blessed in the heavyweight division.
Yes.
Also, well, in all the divisions, to be quite honest. So we're just picking what we feel were the right fighters for the matches. And I promise you, they're going to be some really great matchups and some competitive fights there.
So does it, forgive me for asking again, and maybe a sort of a layman question, but is it kind of like, a bit like the Ryder Cup, you know, when we see the singles, who they suddenly get paired with, is it like that? Or are you having to negotiate behind the scenes a little bit about who's going to be facing who?
No, well, what's happening is we will unveil our fighters for the respective division on the 15th. So no one's going to know who they are until the 15th.
Gotcha.
It's all stuff's been out in the newspaper. So that's what will happen. And unlike the Ryder Cup, they'll be knocking lumps off each other.
Yeah, it's slightly different, quite. It's fabulous that you've obviously been able to put your differences aside, I suppose, with Eddie Hearn, should you have differences, and be able to stage an event like this. I mean, the anticipation, I imagine, is already hotting up for it.
Well, it is, but unfortunately, we did some shooting for a commercial a couple of days ago, and I think all the differences are all coming back to the fore again. And obviously,
why are we getting on so well?
We've done the business. We've done the business. Now we want, it's genuinely we've had a rivalry. Going back with, I suppose, with Barry and I and my son, George and Francis, and obviously Reddy. So it's Warren's v Hearns, Matthum versus Queensbury, and neither of us, I can promise you, want to lose this, and we won't.
Yeah.
We've heard as well, Frank, about an event at Wembley. Can you shed any light on that?
What we as you know, there've been some fabulous events in Saudi for the Riyadh season, and they're events that, to be quite honest, we could never put on here because they're just too financial. They're just too expensive. The books wouldn't balance.
Yeah.
And obviously for a Riyadh season, it's part of the multicultural events that take place there, sporting events, music, etc. And what we're putting on at Wembley is basically going to be a commercial, an advert for the start of the Riyadh season next October, but it will be based upon a Riyadh type of event. So it's going to be a super boxing event. It's going to be something extra special.
Goodness, you've got loads on the card then, as such, and it's not long until we see, of course, Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk go head to head in their rescheduled bout. So how's Tyson looking ahead of this one?
Tyson's looking really well. I don't know if anybody's sort of watched online, they've seen him training, and a lot of people have commented on how fit he looks. Well, the reason he's so fit, because obviously he was training for the fight before he got his cut eye, which was a couple of weeks before the fight was due to take place.
Yeah.
And he was in great condition, and he's not had to go into this training camp, to restart for the 18th of May Day in Riyadh. He's not had to go in and lose lots of weight, so he was very fit, and he's going to be super fit. And I think we're going to get a vintage and a peak performance from him on the 18th. He's really, really up for this fight.
As well, Frank, every time you probably speak to people, they bring up Anthony Joshua, Fury. When's that going to happen? When it does happen, do you think we'll see it more than once? Will we see it twice, 3 times? Because it's such a big fight that the public want to see.
Well, it depends, really. I mean, you look at Ali Frazier, that was 3 times. I mean, you've had lots of fights over the years where they've been attractive fights. Even with Tyson recently, he had 3 fights with Deontay Wilder because they were such good fights. First of all, Tyson has got to beat Usyk, but whoever wins the fight, anyway, well, I'm sure the challenger will instigate the rematch clause, and that will then take place late autumn this year. And then after that, if providing AJ keeps winning, and if Tyson, which I believe he will come through, if he comes through this, then we'll get the fight between those two early next year, which is the fight that the Brits will want to see. But the 2 best heavyweights in the world are fighting on the 18th. They're finally getting it on. The first time this century we've had the heavyweight belts being fought for and to unify them.
So that Wembley event wouldn't possibly be AJ Fury. Just checking.
No.
All right, just checking. Talking of heavyweights, and I know you love to talk about your beloved Arsenal. How are you feeling about this Sunday's game at City?
Look, I hate to say this, and I'm a very positive person, but I'd be very happy if we get a draw there. But I do fancy us. I think we're playing well, and he's getting the best out of the team. And for a team that doesn't have a striker, we're scoring lots of goals. So I think that we're going to give them a run for their money.
I mean, that's what we were discussing earlier on, the fact that everyone keeps saying Arsenal need a striker.
Scored the most goals, 70 goals.
Incredible amount of goals. So it doesn't seem as though that's an issue.
We've got the best goal leverage, haven't we? The best goal difference. We have that anyway. So we'd be really dangerous if we had a striker.
Oh, look at you. Bigging them up for next season already, Frank. Why not? It's always a pleasure to have you on the show,
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
You too.
Mate, you too.
This Sunday, talkSPORT brings you live an exclusive commentary of the British heavyweight title fight between Fabio Wardley and Fraser Clarke from London's O2 Arena. Our team on the night includes Adam Smith, Gareth A. Davies, former super bantamweight champion Spencer Oliver, and commentator John Rawling. The action on the night starts at 6 o'clock on talkSPORT 2 before switching over to talkSPORT for the main event from 8:30. So that is Fabio Wardley versus Fraser Clarke this Sunday. That's Easter Sunday, live on talkSPORT. You can listen in via DAB, your smart speaker, on the talkSPORT app. And don't forget, you can also watch along on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel as well.